Bom dia. So I'm walking home after a trip downtown, and the subject of today's episode is what are my current monthly costs? I did an episode about this about 2 years ago, and here in Brazil, just like in the rest of the world, there has been high inflation. Prices have gone up, but as someone who earns their income in a foreign currency, in my case the US dollar, my costs have actually gone down because the dollar has appreciated so much against the Brazilian real. Now, I do have a new expense though, which has driven up my total monthly cost, but not that much. So as soon as I get home, I'll pull out my list of my expenses and I'll share them with you. So I'm back home now, and I'm going to talk about my monthly budget. It's December 2024. As I mentioned in my introduction, my costs, monthly costs, have actually decreased since I first calculated them 2 years ago in a previous YouTube video, and that's because the dollar has strengthened so greatly, especially recently. And so strangely, even despite the inflation that the world has experienced, my costs have gone down. Now, who knows how long that's going to last under the Trump regime that enters office next month, but we'll see. Anyway, let's take a look at my monthly expenses here in Bahia, Brazil. I'll start by saying that my monthly income, my sole source of income, is Social Security, and I receive $1,500 a month in Social Security. And now that $1,500 a month in the United States, especially where I'm from, San Francisco, California, is poverty wages. I could not live in San Francisco on $1,500 a month. Housing alone would be more than that. I'd be homeless. I don't know what I would do, but that's one of the reasons, not the only reason by any means, but one of the reasons why I live abroad now in my senior years. And I've been saying this to all of you, that you can have a great quality of life outside the United States, in many, many parts of the world, with far, far less money than you need in the United States or in Europe or in Canada or Australia. I chose Brazil because it's where I landed and where I feel happiest. I have a support system here. I'm married into a Brazilian family. But Brazil is not the easiest country to become a permanent resident in. There's lots of more countries. There's lots of other countries, I should say, that are much easier. If I hadn't gotten married, it wouldn't have been as easy for me. It's not impossible. Brazil's not impossible, but it's not the easiest. So, you can find a similar cost of living that I have in many other countries. If I were somehow tomorrow told that I had to leave Brazil, I would probably choose another Latin American country because I am also a fluent Spanish speaker. Or I would choose a country like Cambodia, which has one of the easiest Cambodia is a good choice for easy residency process. The country of Georgia is another one, Albania, the Philippines, and there are others that don't require huge amounts of money or your firstborn child or anything else to become a a legal resident and who have a path even to citizenship, a path that I'm pursuing here next year here in Brazil. So I want to show you what my budget is now, how I very, very comfortably live on my $1,500 a month Social Security income. Actually, when I show you the figures, let me look here. My actual monthly expenses are $614 a month. Yep. That leaves me with almost $900 a month for saving money and, travel, which is one of my passions, and buying books. But for, basics, it's $614 a month. And that's pretty incredible. So let me show you what my budget is here now. So here you can see my monthly income is $1,500 a month. My rent on this 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, living room, kitchen apartment that I have in a closed condominium with a swimming pool and a gym and plenty of places to walk around. It's quite pleasant. It's very safe. Is $133 a month. Yep, you heard that right. And I pay that rent myself. It's not like I do live with somebody. I live with my 20-year-old niece who is attending university, but she does not pay rent. I pay the whole rent, and yes, it's only $133. That's thanks to the excellent exchange rate right now. So that is a big savings. I couldn't get anything for $133 a month in the United States, certainly not in California, that's for sure, not even a garage. And, 2-bedroom, 2-bath, that would be a pipe dream. Second expense is my utilities. Basically, it's electric and water. I pay $34 a month. I do not have air conditioning. I do have the fan on 24 hours a day. Well, every hour of the day that I'm here. Water is extremely cheap. So that's utilities. Netflix. Gotta have Netflix. I do speak and understand Portuguese fluently, so I do watch television and films in Portuguese, but I like to have choices, so I like Netflix, and it's $7.50 a month. Now, of course, my costs are in Brazilian reais, the Brazilian currency, but I've converted them into the equivalent in dollars. Next expense, cell phone, a grand total of $8.30 a month is what I spend for unlimited cell phone use and internet on my cell phone, which comes in handy when I'm out on the street and I want to look at the internet. And here at home, even on the occasion when my home internet goes down, $8.30 a month. And that's a basic plan, by the way. YouTube, I pay $4 a month for the YouTube Premium. Quite a bargain. No commercial interruptions. I really appreciate that. I like YouTube as a source of entertainment. And of course, I have my YouTube channel, so that's helpful. Next, I have a subscription to the New York Times. I'm a lifetime reader of the New York Times. It's 80 cents a month. I can't live without my daily dose of the New York Times. Food expenses. Well, it's the equivalent of $167 a month. I am a vegetarian, which probably keeps costs down because I don't buy meat or meat products or anything with meat in it. But I eat well. Brazil has fabulous, fresh, locally grown tropical fruits, vegetables, anything you can imagine. The variety is incredible. I eat very healthy here on $167 a month. And that includes going out occasionally. Transportation. I am a big walker. I believe walking is an excellent source of exercise, a way to keep fit, especially when you're older. I am 70 years old, but it's hot here. This is a hot tropical country. So, if it's midday, I sometimes don't feel like walking an hour into the center of the city. So I spend about $33 a month. That is on motorcycle taxis. That's the primary source of transportation here. You just get on the back of a guy's motorcycle. It's approximately $2 between my condo and downtown. Comes to about $33 a month. And then we also have public buses here, which are less than maybe about 85 cents. I use those rarely now because they don't come frequently enough, but that's an option too. Medications, as you can see, is my biggest expense. I have, I'm 70 years old. It's inevitable that at that age you're going to have some kind of health issues. I have a heart condition and I have diabetes. I take, I believe it's 6 medications. Some of them are very inexpensive, as little as $2 a month. One of them, though, I'm sure you've heard of Ozempic. I take it for diabetes, not weight loss. It is, much, much, much cheaper than it is in the United States, where it can be $1,000 or more a month. Here it is only, as you can see, my medications are my biggest expense. I am a living example of how important it is to keep yourself healthy when you're younger. Avoid cigarettes, which I've never smoked, but avoid alcohol too. I was a drinker in my younger years, in my wilder years, and I wasn't always that careful about my sugar intake. So, you can lower your medication costs if you keep yourself healthy. So, my monthly total expenses are $614.60 a month. Imagine. And my goal every month is to put $415 a month away in savings, which I do. I started that in November. Salvador, as I mentioned, was a lot more expensive, and I wasn't in a savings mode. I had a lot of pent-up demand and desire to spend and experience, but I'm back in a savings mode now, so $415 a month, and that brings my total expenses to $1,129.60. So that leaves me with approximately $470, because I do get $1,500 after all. $470 as, what shall I call it? Mad money, discretionary spending money. Now, I do try and I do add more to my savings out of that $470, but I also use it for trips, travel, which is my passion, regional trips. My small city that I live in is not particularly interesting, but I live in a region called the Concavo. There's many beautiful and fascinating locations to visit for day trips and weekend trips. Also, I plan to go into Salvador at least a couple times a month. There's lots of, it's the summer season now. We've got New Year's Eve coming up, Carnival at the end of February, and other festivals and events happening. So that's where that discretionary income will come in handy. So as you can see, I live very, very well on a monthly Social Security income of $1,500 a month. Amazing. And you can too. not only here in Brazil, but in many, many countries in Latin America, in Eastern Europe, in Southeast Asia. Find your oasis, your paradise, your dream home, and you can move there and leave the expense and the nightmare of the Trump regime behind. And even if your politics are not the same as mine, at the very least, you're going to have an adventure and you're going to save yourself a lot of money. So I've inspired you and turn on a little light bulb in your head to show you that there are ways to enjoy your senior years or your younger years. This information is not just for seniors and the retired, it's also for young people because remember, I started traveling internationally in my early 20s. And, I just worked for a few years, save up a lot of money, and off I go. And in my late 30s, I left the United States, moved abroad, in my case to Mexico, and got a job as an English teacher. And I did that for all of the decade of the 90s. So you don't have to just wait until you get Social Security. You can work abroad too as an English teacher or find a way to work online. This is the 21st century. There are a lot of options. So I wish all of you luck. Have a great weekend. It's Saturday today. And and have a great holiday season too, a great Christmas, Feliz Natal, or whatever holiday you celebrate at this time of year. And beijo, ciao.